This is going to be my first ever presidential election. It's a very big one. This November, I'm unfortunately going to be voting for Biden and Kamala. That was not my first choice.
175 years of enslavement of
I'm going to tell you the truth about how I feel about this. I mean, why do we always have to choose between the better of the two evils?
Do I choose this bitch who is incarcerated? So many people who look like me and the ones especially who don't look like me? Or do we go back to the Cheeto who has run this economy into the ground, has made sure to be as racist openly as possible, to have allowed a global pandemic to take over our lives when other countries are already returning back to normal? We have to ask what's better for the sake of our children. This spring, we saw Ahmaud Arbery, then we saw Breonna Taylor, then we saw George Floyd die. No, let's be clear, murdered. So I hit the streets like everybody else.
1, 2, 3.
The chains still haven't been lifted. They have not.
The fact that we're in the middle of one of the biggest civil rights movements against criminal injustices and flaws of law enforcement, it was kind of a slap in the face to see Kamala be chosen.
One of my biggest issues with Biden is the fact that his strides to quote-unquote help the Black community seem very, very, very performative. The crime bill, his words now do not match up with his actions, 20 years ago. I guess they're too lazy, or they don't want to, or they don't believe in voting, which is something that I've come to understand.
Everybody tells us we don't count,
And with the 2016 election, we saw that Trump won, but Hillary had the popular vote. And people started figuring out that, the Electoral College is flawed.
I almost want to say like, hey man, I get it. I understand you don't want to vote, but I don't. Because the thing is, and the reality of the situation is, no matter how we as Black and brown people feel, who are on the right side of history, who just don't agree with Trump or anything to do with him, there's as many people who are going to go out to vote because they believe in everything that he says.
I know I have to vote, and I will vote, but right now I'm undecided because I hate to say it, but I am looking into third-party people because, as it stands, the Republican and Democrats don't really care for my generation, much less the people of my race.
The DNC does not listen to its voters. We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of identity politics and the first this, the first that. How about the first politician that will make change actually happen? The left, or I guess the more progressive left, has been very loud.
My demands are to stop being murdered.
Helping the communities that you say that you're going to protect.
If fighting for Black lives is radical, then I'm radical. If fighting for Medicare for all is radical, I'm radical. If fighting for climate change and fighting for the Green New Deal is radical, I'm radical. This movement awakened a new generation of revolutionaries. The party's not listening to me, the party isn't listening to the movement, but they're going to have to listen to us.